Let's play a little game, shall we? Modern beaver, pre-flood beaver. Modern head, pre-flood head? Look, the plants and the animals of the pre-flood world, the ancient world, the fossil record, were massive.
That clip is from a woman who runs the Lost World Museum, I think in upstate New York somewhere. So if you're from New York State, let me know if you've heard of them, seen them. But from their online presence, they seem about as stupid as that giant paper mache head thing she's holding. Someday, when I get enough clips of them, I'll do a whole reaction video just on them. But today, that's not what we're going to do. Here's what happens is when I scroll through social media, the algorithm feeds me a lot of these kind of crazy takes because of what I put out on YouTube. So I have to look at these brain-rotted clips, and I do it for you so that you don't have to. So for that, I probably deserve at least a sub and maybe even join my channel so you can help me defray the costs of making these videos, but I digress. Anyway, I watch these, and a lot of times with these clips, there's not enough meat on the bone for me to make a whole, reaction video to. So I'll just save them somewhere. And I decided once I get enough of them from various different creators that I'll put them together and make like a chaos compilation of different crazy Christian clips. So that's our first one, the Lost World Museum. Let's see what else she has to regale us with.
Let's play a little game, shall we? Modern beaver, pre-flood beaver. Modern head, pre-flood head? Look, the plants and the animals of the pre-flood world, the ancient world, the fossil record, were massive. This modern beaver, 110 pounds, 3 or 4 feet long. Pre-flood beaver, fossil record, 250 pounds, 7.5 feet long. Why? Something about the pre-flood world, the fossil record shows it was massive. It supported life that we just don't see today. Why? What made it different? It was because God created it. It was fresh from the hand of God. So, after 6,000 years of sin, you get this and this. If the plants and animals were bigger, were the people bigger? I'm just saying, the Bible and history and the fossil record make the most sense when you look at it from a Christian creationist standpoint. The pre-flood people, the Genesis people, lived 1,000 years. Were they little shrimps like us? Or maybe were they something like this?
She got one thing right. Just one. Yeah, giant animals used to exist. Anyone who's ever made it through middle school knows that. But they should also know that they all died out around the end of the last ice age, 10,000, 11,000 years ago. Thousands and thousands of years before the so-called flood happened, which they claim was maybe 4,000 years ago. So that's a problem there. And not all animals were huge, just some of them. And no matter what your pastor has told you or what you read see online or read, there has never been a giant number of bones found of giant human beings, huge human beings. She claims, I think, that they were 15 feet tall. That has never happened. Okay, those don't exist. That's a conspiracy theory. And if she knew anything about biology, if she knew even the tiniest amount, the fact that she thinks that these giants could live 1,000 years is absolutely laughably stupid, because we know that actually the taller you are and the bigger you are, generally the shorter lifespan you have. That's just the way that it is. Your heart has to work harder. So this would not really be realistic. In fact, the shorter that you are, the smaller that you are, generally the longer lifespan you have. There's no evidence that anyone was ever 15 feet tall and ever lived to 1,000 years. All those animals would have died off on the last ice age. So, right, wrong, wrong, wrong. Speaking of the ice age, let's see what Hovind has to say about it.
Crybaby, the last ice age ended 11,000 years ago. How on earth do you know that? You guys make these statements and we're supposed to just believe it. twist our Bible to fit your dumb statement. I'm sorry. The whole ice age, advancing and retreating, is still moving back and forth. Ice age. That's why they're worried about the global warming. Then you send Algo up there and let him watch the ice. You can't make up your own dates. I agree, so quit doing it.
You like the way that someone called him crybaby? I wonder secretly if that was Justin from DZ Debates who called him crybaby, because he kind of tells people they're crying all the time. But in any event, we got Kent Hovind. He's such a crackpot. I'm not even going to respond to what he said. It's so stupid, making up dates, as if the Bible doesn't just make up dates. He's so ludicrous. I think there's even a lot of Christians that have abandoned him. He's got a lot of legal problems in his past. He's just a frickin' crackpot. But he's ludicrous. But you know who people do take seriously, a lot of Christians do take seriously, and it's very disturbing, just really disturbing, is Mark Driscoll. So take a look at this clip where he talks about demons and transgenders.
Demons are transgender. Human beings are made male and female. Demons do not inhabit a physical body as human beings do. When angels or demons appear, demons are fallen, cursed angels, at times they do appear as male and female. When demons appear, they appear like humans. Some of us have entertained angels unaware because they look like people. In the Bible, angels are never sexually involved with human beings, but demons often are. Demons are often involved in perversion, transgenderism, and sexuality that is perverse.
This man makes my skin crawl. He literally makes my skin crawl. And I really don't understand how he even has a platform. You know, he was fired from the first mega church he started, and he's had so many, you should just Google. I'm not going to go into it right now. That's not the point of this video. Although maybe I will. Maybe I'll one day do a long in-depth thing into him. But he has had so many issues in the past. I just can't believe there's anyone left that listens to him. But they do. He has a big church down in Phoenix. He's just disgusting. But there's so many problems with everything he said. There's so many issues. The first one is he says that angels, they don't have sex with humans. But in Genesis 6, it talks about the sons of God seeing the women from men and going into them and creating, these giants, I guess, that we have from clip number 1. But anyway, the best explanation that I have seen, that I've heard, is yes, these were angels. These were angels that came down, because nothing else really makes sense. And even answers in Genesis, when I looked this up when I was filming this video, said yes, the angels makes the most sense. It's kind of a nonsensical passage. So right there, he's wrong about that. Now, if he's trying to say, he might try and say, well, the sons of God actually meant demons. But does that make any sense? Why would the Bible writers call the fallen angels, the demons, the sons of God? That would be the sons of Satan at that point. Now, 2, even if we didn't even have point number 1, we didn't have point number 1, and he's saying angels can't have sex with humans, but demons can. Demons are just fallen angels. They're not a different creation. They're angels that went with Satan, supposedly, out of heaven. So they're just angels, just like Satan is an angel. They're no different. They were created the same. So if he's saying that demons are so much different, does that mean that Satan was able to recreate the demons, recreate them? That opens a whole nother can of worm, making Satan a creationist. You see what I'm getting at? I hope you follow. I know most of you are so smart. Most of you are you're smarter than I am. So you see where I'm going with that. It doesn't make any sense. And point number 3, what he's saying isn't even biblical. There's no basis in the Bible. He's literally just making this shit up as he goes. It's just incredibly disturbing. Okay, I can't end this video on that kind of a downer, horrible clip. Let's do a bonus clip. Let's do one of Millicent Sedra. She's a gal from Australia. I did a whole video on her. I will link it so you can go there. It's really good. I think you'll enjoy it. Let's do one on her where she talks about how all historians, all of them, think the Bible is the most accurate ancient text there is. Let's see what this dingbat has to say.
All historians will today say that there is not a text that is so historically accurate as the Bible. If you chuck out the reliability of the Bible, say goodbye to all of history. So when you compare the New Testament, look at how many manuscripts we have compared to all of the big ancient works of the time. We have 5,856 just in Greek alone. Now, if you look, our earliest manuscript is just 30 years after when the original was written. The average historical work, you had to wait at least 500 years before you could get just a fragment or a little piece of a copy of what was written originally. The Bible, we have full New Testaments written again and again and again, just 300 years after. Stop acting like we don't know what to believe. Stop acting like we don't have the Word of God anymore. We actually do. If you compare this to the Quran, how the Quran kind of took off is this guy named Uthman. Well, he saw some different copies of the Quran. There's a lot of variations in these. So he's like, hey, give me all your manuscripts. That's what he did. He burnt them. So he burnt all of the early manuscripts. And so they don't have variations because they don't have any manuscripts. You know, when Muslims come and they come to us and say, you have 400,000 variants, it's like, are you really talking to me about historical accuracy? You guys have nothing to stand on. You guys don't even have any of your manuscripts to compare to.
Isn't she just the smoothest grifter? Those lies just roll off her tongue so smooth. I wished I was as good as she is. I really do. Wouldn't that be amazing to have that gift and not use it to be a grifter and a liar? But she is so laughable. The first lie she told, that all historians consider the Bible text as the most reliable or accurate of all the ancient texts. It's such a lie that it's laughable. But you know how many Christians sit in the audience and they hear her because she sounds like an authority. She's so commanding that they'll just listen to it. And now they'll go tell all their friends, did you know that all historians think that? Lie number 2, and I hear other Christians making up this lie. Listen, more manuscripts does not make it more true. If me and my friends got together and we wrote out the story of Peter Pan, each of us, I got 100 of my friends, and we all wrote it out hundreds of times each over our lifetime, does that make the story of Peter Pan more true? That is yes or no. The answer is no. No, it doesn't make it more true. That's just stupid. But how many Christians will listen to that? A lot. Lie number 3, she tells about the Quran. Yes, Uthman did take the various manuscripts that had different variations in them. He had scholars, Muslim scholars of the time get together and make one standard book. And then they did burn the other manuscripts, most of them anyway. Most of the other, I'm not sure if it was all of them or most of them. But here's the thing, here's what she doesn't say, is this all happened only 20 years after the death of Muhammad. Much closer than even the first gospel was written. The first gospel was written maybe, I think, 30 to 40 years after the death of Christ. And then we have all the other gospels. So for her to be bashing the Quran when it really is no better than the reliability of the gospels makes no sense. I'd say maybe the Quran, being only 20 years after Muhammad died, might have much better eyewitnesses. Maybe that's why they wanted to burn some of the stuff that they didn't feel was right, because they were eyewitnesses themselves. Maybe the Bible writer should have done the same thing. Maybe the early Christians should have got together and just burned everything else, because actually, wouldn't it make apologetics so much easier? That's what I think. But here's what's not a lie, is how much I love you. I love you all. And you should thank me for scrolling through social media so that you don't have to, and bringing these dumb Christian apologetics to you. All right, I love you. Give me a like, give me a sub, and I will see you next time.